kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
In the frosty expanse of the Arctic, a young polar bear cub named Koda lived a carefree life with his family on the majestic Blueheart Glacier. The glacier was vast and glittering, a frozen kingdom that provided safety and food for the creatures who called it home. But recently, strange things had begun to happen. The ice beneath Koda's paws had started to crack, and the once solid glacier was melting at an alarming rate. One day, while chasing snowflakes, Koda heard a distant rumble. He turned to see a large chunk of the glacier break off and tumble into the icy sea. "What's happening to our home?" Koda asked his mother. "The ice is melting," she said gravely. "And if it continues, we'll have nowhere to live." The next day, while exploring the glacier's edge, Koda spotted a strange figure waddling toward him. It was a young penguin named Pippin, who had drifted far from the Antarctic on a floating ice chunk. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" Koda asked. "I'm Pippin," the penguin replied. "The ice in my home is melting too. I've been searching for answers, and I ended up here." Realizing they shared the same problem, Koda and Pippin decided to team up to figure out what was causing the glaciers to melt. Koda and Pippin sought advice from the Arctic elders, a wise group of seals, walruses, and snowy owls. "The ice is melting because the world is getting warmer," said Sage, an elderly owl. "It's caused by pollution and the careless actions of humans far away from here." "Can we stop it?" Pippin asked. "It will take great effort," Sage replied. "But you must act quickly. The Blueheart Glacier is in danger." Determined to save their icy homes, Koda and Pippin began brainstorming ways to slow the melting. "We need to spread the word," Koda said. "If other animals help us, we'll be stronger together. And we need to stop the pollution that's causing the problem," Pippin added. The two friends decided to split up. Koda would rally the Arctic animals, while Pippin would use the currents to travel south and speak to humans about reducing pollution. Koda traversed the glacier, calling on polar bears, seals, walruses, and even narwhals to join their cause. "The ice is melting, and if we don't act now, we'll lose our home," Koda said to a gathering of animals. Inspired by his courage, the animals agreed to help. They worked together to reinforce the glacier. Meanwhile, Pippin embarked on a perilous journey to reach the human settlements in the south. The ocean currents carried him far, and he faced dangers like sharks and rough storms. When he finally arrived, he found himself near a small fishing village. There, he met a kind-hearted scientist named Dr. Elena, who was studying the effects of climate change. "You're saying the ice is melting faster than we thought?" Dr. Elena asked, after hearing Pippin's story. "Yes, and we need your help to stop it," Pippin said earnestly. Dr. Elena was moved by Pippin's plea. She wrote reports, recorded videos of Pippin's journey, and shared them with people around the world. "Every action counts," she told her audience. "We must reduce pollution, use clean energy, and protect our planet before it's too late." Pippin's story spread quickly, inspiring humans to make changes in their daily lives. Back in the Arctic, Koda and the animals worked tirelessly to stabilize the glacier. But despite their efforts, the melting continued. One night, Koda looked at the stars and wondered if Pippin had succeeded. "We can't give up," he said to himself. Weeks later, Pippin returned with Dr. Elena and a team of researchers. They brought special tools to measure the glacier's health and ideas to help slow the melting. Together with the Arctic animals, they created barriers to protect the glacier from warm ocean currents and spread reflective snow to keep the ice cool. Slowly but surely, their efforts began to show results. The glacier's melting slowed, and the animals found hope again. "We did it," Pippin said, his small wings trembling with excitement. "No, we all did it," Koda replied, smiling. The collaboration between animals and humans showed that even the biggest problems could be solved when everyone worked together. Though the challenges of climate change were far from over, Koda and Pippin's story became a symbol of hope and unity. As they stood together on the glacier, looking at the restored beauty of their home, Koda turned to Pippin and said, "We're stronger together, no matter where we come from. And we'll keep fighting for our home," Pippin added. The small town of Brightvale had always been a lively place, bustling with activity. But lately, the town's power grid had been failing. Frequent blackouts left homes dark, businesses struggling, and the townspeople worried. The local repair crews worked tirelessly, but the aging infrastructure seemed beyond saving. In the center of town lived Zane, a curious and inventive teenager who loved tinkering with machines. His small workshop was cluttered with gadgets, wires, and blueprints. Zane's dream was to become an inventor who could change the world, but for now he focused on fixing small appliances for his neighbors. One stormy evening, while Zane worked on an old radio, a sudden bolt of lightning struck his workshop. The electricity surged through his tools and into a pair of gloves he had been designing. The gloves shimmered with energy, sparking faintly. "What just happened?" Zane muttered, slipping the gloves onto his hands. Zane spent the next few days experimenting with the gloves. He discovered that they allowed him to channel electricity, repair broken circuits, and even power small devices. With each test, he grew more confident in his abilities. One evening, a blackout plunged the town into darkness. Zane decided to test the gloves on a larger scale. He ventured to the town's square, where the main transformer had failed. As the townspeople gathered, Zane used his gloves to repair the damaged circuits. Sparks flew, and within minutes, the lights flickered back on. The crowd cheered, and Zane became an instant hero. "How did you do that?" asked Mr. Harper, the town's electrician. "It's complicated," Zane replied, deciding to keep the gloves a secret for now. As Zane continued helping with small repairs, he noticed a troubling pattern. The town's entire electrical grid was on the verge of collapse. The transformers were outdated, the wires frayed, and the backup generators barely functional. One day, Mayor Turner called an emergency meeting. "If we don't fix the grid soon, the town could face a permanent blackout," she warned. Zane decided it was time to step up. "I think I can help," he said, surprising everyone. Zane explained his plan to the townspeople. With the help of his lightning gloves, he could temporarily stabilize the grid while working on a more permanent solution. But he couldn't do it alone. "We need to work together," Zane said. "I'll repair the critical components, but I'll need help replacing wires, installing new equipment, and ensuring everything runs smoothly." Inspired by Zane's determination, the townspeople rallied behind him. Volunteers formed teams, gathering materials and learning basic repair techniques. Just as progress was being made, a massive storm rolled into Brightvale. Lightning lit up the sky, and strong winds knocked down power lines. The town plunged into its worst blackout yet. Zane and his team worked tirelessly through the night. With his gloves, Zane redirected electricity to critical areas like the hospital and emergency shelters. He repaired fallen transformers and guided his teams using portable lights powered by the gloves. At one point, a fire broke out at the power station. Zane used his gloves to safely shut down the electrical flow, preventing the fire from spreading. While repairing the grid, Zane stumbled upon something alarming: an old substation buried under debris. It was leaking dangerous levels of electricity and contributing to the grid's instability. "We need to shut this down," Zane told Mr. Harper. But doing so required rerouting power through the gloves, a risky move that could overload them. "Are you sure about this?" Mr. Harper asked. "I have to try," Zane replied. As the storm raged on, Zane connected his gloves to the substation. He felt a surge of energy coursing through him, almost too much to handle. With every ounce of focus, he redirected the power safely to the new systems his team had installed. The process was exhausting, but Zane refused to give up. Finally, the substation powered down and the grid began to stabilize. When the storm passed, the sun rose over a town with a fully functioning power grid. The lights were back on, and the people of Brightvale celebrated their newfound resilience. Mayor Turner praised Zane and his team during a town ceremony. "Thanks to Zane's ingenuity and everyone's hard work, we've saved Brightvale," she said. Zane realized that the gloves weren't just tools. They were a reminder of what could be achieved when people worked together. Zane continued using his gloves to help Brightvale and nearby towns. He even began teaching others about renewable energy and sustainable technology, ensuring the town would never face another blackout. As he stood in his workshop, now filled with new inventions and thank you notes from neighbors, Zane smiled. The lightning gloves had given him the power to make a difference, but it was his determination and the support of his community that truly saved the day. If you like our stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you won't miss exciting stories every day. You are also welcome to share it with family and friends to listen to the story together. Love you.